kind of have a role of like talking to the freshmen and the underclassmen and kind of saying what they have to say to the coaches, like kind of we're the middleman kind of. And so it's kind of cool to be part of the coaches council because you do get to hear the coaches side of things and then the gymnast side of things. But yeah, definitely more of a leadership position as you get older, just because people are looking up to you and you've been doing it for so long, you should be a pro out there. But yeah, it is definitely a lot of talking to the freshmen at the meet, checking in on them, making sure that they're okay, and your older teammates too, because they're getting old and their bodies hurt and everything. So you want to check in on them too, because everyone just needs a little bit of talk to before they go. But yeah, definitely more of like leadership positions.
It's a big role for her on top of all of her other responsibilities as an all-arounder. And she talked about as they get older and what happens to their bodies, such a contact sport, and they really have to be careful as they get a little older.
Yeah, absolutely. It is all about managing the numbers, especially in the early part of the season here. You don't want to peak too early. But Nevaeh has shown such consistency throughout her career. And one unique thing Justin Howell was talking about at the Coaches Council is that is voted on by the athletes. The athletes vote on the representative for each class, for the sophomore, junior, senior. So just such a testament to the way her teammates view her and what she brings to the Cal team, both from leadership and then obviously from her incredible athletic ability.
There's Liz Crandall Howell. Already saw her husband Justin Howell, the co-head coaches of the Cal Bears. And last year, they were the Pac-12 Coaches of the Year and the co-regional Coaches of the Year, as they led the Bears to within 3/4 of a tenth of the final day of the NCAA championship.
I mean, that was such an incredible performance by Cal, given the frenetic start to their NCAA competition. They were warming up, they were out on the floor, and then they were pulled off the floor due to some COVID protocols that needed to be sorted out through all of the sports medicine teams. They were in the locker room for about 40 minutes and then told you can come back out and you have 18 minutes to warm up on the rest of the equipment. So it was just a mad dash, super unconventional start for them, and they still were just a hair away from the national title or championship.
There's the start values on vault for the Cal Bears with D'Souza and Lazan, the two that will go 5th and 6th with the 10-0 start value. First of all, Nina Schonk, who had a 9.85 on bars, put up a 9.8 on vault last week in her first vault of the season.
Like the 4 gymnasts following her, she'll do the Yurchenko fold. Nina's a little bit taller and so has a really nice line that she shows off. We saw it on bars, and then you'll see on vault as well. Nina, just a true definition of the student and the athlete, double major in molecular and cell biology and business. She's accepted a job after her Cal career finishes up at Goldman Sachs.
If you're senior from Oakland.
Wow, exceptional Yurchenko fall there. Just a teeny foot shuffle, but very well done.
Moody will start things off for Washington, the freshman. Moody from Frisco, Texas, and he was Jen Llewellyn's first official visit after hiring, right?
That's right. The first weekend that Jen Llewellyn was on campus, they brought Moody in. Really excited about the ability. This former elite in Moody has a lot of different skills to choose from. She was took a few years off in her recruiting process, and we're so excited that she ended up on this Husky squad. Nice full in, chest down a little bit on that landing, but a really good job for the freshman in her second meet. You know,
Led off on bars last week at Oregon State, posted a solid 9.825.
You know, her coach in club for a time when she was at WOGA was Janelle McDonald, the Cal Bars coach. So you can see where her attention to detail and pedigree came from.
Potential for a lot of power from Moody. 9.85 for Nina Schonk. That's half a tenth better than her vault last week in week 1. So now here is Andy Lee.
And there's her full, nicely done as well. Just that small shuffle back. You know, it's
Second in the lineup last week, had a 9.75.
a good straight body. Looks very easy for her, and that's the signature of a really good gymnast, is if it looks easy. Mind you, it is nowhere near easy. She makes it look so.
Remarkable what they can do.
Totally.
The best athletes in all of college athletics. 9.675 for Dia Moody. And now Taylor Russin, a sophomore. Last week, she performed her first ever collegiate bars routine at Oregon State, part of the 9.725.
Dia comes from a great club, San Mateo, down in the Bay Area, that have very good basics. Coach Llewellyn just wants to see her keep building her confidence. You know, obviously only her second bar routine. First one out there's a Husky. She starts with a beautiful handstand on top of the bar, into her Jaeger, overshoot, excellent connection, very clean. Again, shows great control on that handstand, a little hitch on her pirouette, but otherwise, very solid routine for Taylor.
Performed just 2 routines last year as a freshman.
And what I liked about that Jaeger is she caught with completely stretched arms. And then you'll see she had just the tiniest hiccup in the middle of that pirouette. But does a good job to just continue to push through the shoulder, get the pirouette finished, and not stress out too much.
We'll see her again on beam. Andy Lee at 9.725. 9.95 start value. Here's Milan Clausy.
Milan is an excellent vaulter. Will likely do the Yurchenko full here. Wow, beautiful stick. She has competed the 1.5 before. Coach Hal talked about, you know, the debate that these coaches go through when your gymnast can do the more difficult vault, but it's only worth a 0.5 tenth more. And that's a near perfect 9.95 vault. So it's sort of a toss-up.
The difference between this and international gymnastics is there are no D scores, no difficulty scores, so more difficulty doesn't necessarily help you.
Exactly, and you'll see a lot of the elite gymnasts that are sprinkled throughout college gymnastics this season have to really shift their mindset to selecting routines and skills that they can perfect, as opposed to cramming their routines full of the most difficult skills to get those high D scores.
You saw the 9.725 for Russin, and now here's Brenna Brooks. Missed last season with an injury. She last competed on bars 2 years ago.
Yep, and Brenna has a unique combination off the top. She'll do a true Shaposhnikova, one out of a clear hip, and then uprise on top of the bar to a clear hip. Takes a lot of core strength.
Big moment for her. She's been waiting for this for 2 years to get back on bars in competition.
Exactly. There's the clear hip, excuse me, the Shaposhnikova, the clear hip, and just is able to hold on. Arched a handstand on the high bar a little bit. It's nice to see unique combinations. She labors that line full a little bit and pop back on the double tuck, but for someone who's been out and has off the competition floor for so long, a really nice job for her to, you know, save those few moments where she was almost over on that and then was able to find the double tuck. Lands nice with her chest up high. Judges like to see that.
Congratulations, Brenna Brooks. 9.85 for Milan Clausy. And now here's Maya Bortis. 9.95 start value. Bortis had a 9.9 on bars. Last week she led off the vault lineup against Stanford at a 9.775.
Again, makes that vault look so easy. It's just sort of a carbon copy of what Andy Lee had done before her, Nina Shank. The Yurchenko full, almost, you know, the compulsory vault in college athletics. So it's the little details that separate gymnasts on vault, and her straight arms on the block, her good shoulder angle, straight body position are what separate Maya from some of the others.
We'll see her again on floor and beam. 9.625 for Brenna Brooks. And now here is Skyler Wilhelm doing it all around today for the Huskies. 9.75 on vault. At career high with a 9.875 last week on bars at OSU.
And she just floats through this routine. Very nice height Jaeger connection. May have been a hair shy on that first handstand there, and does the front giant into the double tuck. Hangs on to the stick.
Nailed that landing. Skyler Wilhelm, the Des Moines, Iowa native.
Yeah, ranked 16th after her first meet at OSU last week. Look at the form, the really long extension through the toe point, through to the double back, holds on to the landing. Really well done.
9.85 for Bortis. Remember, 6 gymnasts go. Top 5 count. The draw line for the 9.7. Here's D'Souza.
And that excellent Yurchenko 1.5, just a tiny slide back. I saw her stick it twice in the warm-ups today. But on the table, as she's going back, you'll see a little bit of a leg separation there, depending on the judge's angle. They may or may not see that.
Again, the blind landing. That's the 10-0 start value.
Won the vault last week at against Stanford when she stuck that.
2020 Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, won a perfect 40 for 40 that year. She's only fallen once in her career. A 9.9 for Wilhelm, and now Geneva Thompson, the 5th-year senior.
And that's a new career high for Wilhelm.
That's a quarter of a tenth better than last week at Oregon State and the 9.875 she had at last year's Pac-12 championships. Skyler Wilhelm. And now here's Thompson. The 9.725 at Oregon State last week. Her career high is 9.9 4 times.
Yeah, she has a new dismount that she learned in the off-season. First, we'll see her straddle Jaeger. I think I'd love to see she and Maya Bortis go head-to-head to see whose is higher. She used to do a full-out dismount, and she'll debut a new double layout. Can be easier to stick sometimes, and she does. Awesome job by Geneva Thompson.
Coach Cody Llewellyn there to celebrate.
You want to see a straight body throughout and a chest up high. I mean, she lands with her arms almost already in the salute, like she's anticipating the stuck landing. And, you know, it's the second meet. She's competed in new dismount, so really well done to find that landing.
9.8 for D'Souza, 10th off what she did last week at Stanford. And now here is Maya Lazon.
And last week she did the full. This is her debut of the 1.5 in college. And you could tell she was really going for the stick. So she under-rotates a little bit, has to take the steps back. She had competed that 1.5 in club. So she's used to doing it, but it's a whole different thing when you're in college and you're doing it for your team. You've got a different set of pressures, and you know, this is a homecoming for her from this area. It's got a lot of teammates, former teammates in the crowd, and also Geneva Thompson, a club teammate of hers as well.
9.875 for Geneva, her former teammate. That's a full 10th and a half better than she did last week at Oregon State. And now here's Morgan Bowles, a junior. Won multiple state titles in Nevada. Last week at OSU, posted a 9.675. Career high is 9.8.
She does one of my favorite release moves on bars. She'll do a Delchev here after her. Whoa, yep, she was off to the side on her blind fall, and so doesn't connect immediately, but does well to keep pushing through and connect down to the overshoot.
Sometimes you just have to battle, right?
Exactly, and she did a great job just to keep her head on, and unfortunately falls forward. That's a new dismount for her. She also learned that double layout over the summer. It can take a lot out of you when you've trained the routine one way the entire postseason, and it goes awry.
Back with more for rotation 3 coming up.